What's going on, guys? It's Bassman Cam here. Here to showcase my new 2016 Vibe Seaghost 130. It's a new kayak I just got. I had to get a sit on top so that way I could stand up, do a little bit more sight fishing. Feel like I made a great choice, and just wanted to go through and show you a couple of the things that I did to customize mine, and maybe you want to do the same to yours. So check it out. Alright, first let's talk about the stability of this kayak. Stability of the kayak is great. It's about 33 inches wide from side to side. The cockpit on the 2016 is a little bit wider than the 2015, which gives you a little bit more standing room, a little bit more leg room in here. If you haven't seen the clip of me standing up in this kayak, here's a clip of it right here. Now, if that clip right there doesn't convince you that the stability of this kayak is good, I'm 6'3", 6'2" roughly, about 185, 190 pounds, and this thing is great to stand and sight fish out of. Alright, so the next thing I want to go over is the storage. Storage on the front here has a locking lid. It's not a waterproof lid. It will leak a little bit. It's not going to leak gallons of water into your kayak, so if you see a little bit of water in there, don't worry. That's normal. It does come with this bag that you can take out, hold some stuff there. I store a lot of stuff on the inside when I'm not using the kayak. Sometimes when I am using the kayak, I'll store a fly rod or something like that in here. But I store my net, my paddle when that gets broken down, my GoPro pole, my PFD. All those things go inside this front hatch when I'm not using the kayak. So that's definitely a great feature of storage on this kayak that I didn't have on my last one. There's also this storage in the back. And this rear hatch has a lock on it also. And as you can see, it does get a little bit wet inside. I was just at the lake not too long ago, so it's a little bit wet inside, nothing big, nothing to worry about. Close that lid back down. Now is just give it that extra push to make sure it's tight. And that's the amount of storage that you got just in the front and the back. Okay, so the next thing that I want to go over is the seat right here. The seat's great. It's got cushion in it. It's not just a net for you to sit in. It's actually got padding inside of it. It does fold up and down. You can adjust it with these straps, and it's got good hardware holding it together, so it's not going to come undone. It doesn't come loose on you and start leaning back and sagging after a while. So definitely a great seat to have when you're doing long rides, multiple hours on here. Okay, something else that Vibe did is it comes with the rail mounts again on the 2016, just like it did on the 15, but these ones actually are recessed, so that way they're not sticking up high, so they're nice and flush with the side. I actually did a Scotty adapter with a Scotty rod holder, so that way it's nice and tight on there. I can adjust it how far up or down I want to have it, and great idea. The rails on here are great. There's also rails on the back, which I will be adding probably some tube rod holders onto the back right here. So great job to that one again on Vibe's part. Alright, I want to go over the way that I did my depth finder. I'm running the Lowrance Hook 5X. It's no GPS on there. It's got down scan and broadband sonar, and it is the Hook with chirp, so it's a little bit more cleared up on the sonar. The way that I'm running that is the power goes straight through into the hole. It goes up through the center console, up through a Hobie seal in the bottom right here to a 9-hour battery that I got from Bass Pro Shop for 20-25 bucks. And the foam surrounding here is actually an idea by Rick Robinson. He's got a YouTube channel, Big Yacker TV. Check it out. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. But I actually got this foam insert idea from him, and you can go to his page and
he's got a video on how to do that. So the rest of this I pretty much just use for storage. I fish a lot of plastics, so I like to keep all my soft plastics inside of here. There's also the cup holder on top and multiple different Scotty mount style holders where you can put a rod holder or GoPro mount, whatever you want to do. Now, the transducer wire runs straight from the back into the hole, goes inside and wraps up because there's like 20 feet of transducer line, and then comes back out through the bottom of the Hobie three-way seal down into here, which there's a housing underneath that holds the transducer and has a plate covering the top of it, which I'll show you a little bit of that here in a second.
Alright, so for my transducer, the transducer is actually mounted underneath in the housing that is molded into the kayak, which is right here. My transducer's underneath there, and it's actually, the mount fits straight in there. Most Lowrance and other popular units will fit in there without any modification. So this plate right here has holes drilled in it, so that way there's not so much interference on your sonar, but it does protect your transducer from getting ate up on rocks or anything else, and you don't have to worry about having something mounted up on the rail. Alright, so I also got a paddle leash off Amazon for pretty cheap. These paddle straps right here are definitely nice when you want to put your paddle down and stand up and fish or whatever. I got the upgraded paddle from Vibe when I bought the kayak. I definitely think it was worth the extra money to go ahead and upgrade. It's adjustable length and angle wise, so definitely helps me out since I got a wider arm span. And there's actually a little strap up here on the front where the paddle will mount, so that way it's out of your way for a short period if you like to put it in your lap and fish a lot like I do. Now, next thing I'm going to go over is this anchor system that I put on here. It's a Bass Pro Shop brand. It is sagging a little bit. This rope tends to stretch when it gets wet, and I've used it 2 or 3 times now and it's worked great. But what I do is I've actually got this 5-pound dumbbell that I keep back here with a rope tied around it and a carabiner, and I'll clip this carabiner on to the side on this ring, and I can drop my weight, and with the rope I can place which way I want the anchor to go, almost the full length of my kayak, which is great. And just tie it off right here on this cleat whenever I find a spot to anchor up. So that's definitely a nice feature to have as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is the rudder system that actually came with the kayak. I had Walt Larisky actually help me install this, so thank you, Walt, for showing me the right way to get this all set up. The rudder is actually spring loaded and foot controlled. Right here is actually where you let the rudder go, and if you pull this, you can see the rudder moving back, and then it's got a pinch stop. You just pinch the rope and your rudder is down, and you only want to do this in water where you're not going to be scraping it, obviously. And these pedals right here are going to control the rudder moving. Didn't put that down all the way. These pedals will control the rudder. And then to pull it back up, you simply release it from the pinch stop, and it's spring loaded, so it comes back very easily. And voila, that's how the rudder works. Alright, so the next thing is the milk crate that I use.
This is a milk crate idea that I got from Kayak DIY, and you can go and check out their YouTube channel. They got some really neat stuff that you can do for saving money and whatnot. I got a Yak Gear 3-rod holder mount for the back, and it's bolted on there with stainless. And basically another crate, the bottom cut off, zip tied to the top, so that way I can close it and not have to worry about capsizing and losing all my tackle by any means. So that way if I tip over, the top won't come off and I won't lose any of my tackles. So really smart thinking, Kayak DIY. Thank you for the idea. I definitely can't take credit for this genius and cost-efficient idea. So check it out if you're looking to make a milk crate. This is the way to do it and save money.
Okay, so one of the last things that I want to talk about is how I store it. I store my kayak under a tarp on the trailer. I bungee the tarp down, but before I put the tarp on top, I chain it down from the rear scupper hole. I don't put any stress on the scupper hole, but I do run a chain through it and wrap it around my trailer. And the master lock holds that together. And I also have a lock on the front, so that way nobody can lift the whole trailer from me. And basically that's the way I store it. Just keep it covered and keep the rain and sun off of it. Alright, so last but not least, a lot of my buddies are all naming their boats. I've seen a lot of people online naming their boats, so I went ahead and named mine. With my name being Bassman, I went ahead and called it the Bassmobile. So if you didn't catch that earlier in the video, here it is now. I actually got those letters from Bass Pro Shop for I think $14 for 4 sets of letters and numbers. And just want to say thank you for watching the video, and hopefully you found this video helpful. Whether you're trying to buy a Seaghost 130 or you're a Seaghost 130 owner already and you just want to see what kind of mods you can do with it, hopefully my video helped you out. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to check me out on Instagram at BassmanCam, and stay tuned for more videos. Hit subscribe.